I'm Heather from Here Booktubes. Today is my 2022 TBR. I don't do a lot of TBRs because I'm very much a mood reader, but for this year I decided to go ahead and do one. These are books that I would really like to get to. They will not be carried over into 2023 if they don't get done this year. It's a fairly good mix, I feel like, of books that I don't tend to reach for, so they kind of have to be read on purpose, and some romances that have been on my list for forever that I'd really like to get to this year. Alright, first off, I want to finish my reread of the Anne of Green Gables series. I have 7 books left to go. I actually read one in January, so there are 8 books in the series. I read one in November, I think. I read all of these as a young teen. Ellen Montgomery, first of all, Anne of Green Gables is a classic, but I think most people don't realize that it's actually a full-length series that goes all the way from her childhood when she's adopted at 11 all the way through her youngest child being an adult. So it covers quite a span of time, and Ellen Montgomery has very descriptive, flowery writing, very lyrical. It reminds you of poetry. So it's not going to be for everybody, and a lot of Anne's mishaps are very second-hand embarrassment worthy, so. But it is a delightful series, and I want to reread the whole thing because I am now an adult, a mother, and would specifically like to read those stages of Anne's journey from this perspective. Next, I have Braiding Sweetgrass. This is a nonfiction that is something that I don't think should be read in one go. It's really something where you should read like a chapter a day, and it kind of combines science and indigenous wisdom and spirituality and things. And I read a couple chapters back in November, but was overwhelmed, had a lot of things on my plate, and so temporarily DNF'd and would like to pick it back up and read it in 2022. Next, I have another nonfiction, which is White Rage. This is again a DNF for me that I would like to pick back up and continue. This is really about how in America, many times when Black people have made progress, there has been a almost overreaction and rage that puts them back in their place, if you will, and it follows a lot of history and kind of this pattern happening again and again and again, and it goes with examples that are nationwide. It has examples of just this one family in this neighborhood, things like that. It's difficult reading, and so I will again kind of have to pace myself with it, but I would really like to finish it. If you know, I wanted to finish it in 2021, was not thrilled that that didn't happen. It won't show up on the 2023 TBR. I want to get it done this year. Then, once we are done with the Kate Daniels series, Steph and Megan and I are going to continue with Blood Heir, which is the beginning of the spin-off series following Julie, who is a main side character in the series. I have never read Blood Heir, and I'm very much looking forward to reading it for the first time. After Blood Heir, we plan on doing Hidden Legacy, which is another Ilona Andrews series. This one, the original trilogy, is my actual personal favorite of Ilona Andrews series. You have a kind of mad, if you will, billionaire. Everyone thinks he's crazy, and a very unique and interesting magic system. And then you have this girl who's kind of the head of her family and is trying to keep them safe and also under the radar. So kind of reminiscent of Kate Daniels vibes, but this is my personal favorite the first time I read it. And then the books 4, 5, and 6 are a trilogy about her younger sister. I have not read those yet, and the 6th one is supposed to come out this year. And so we are going to be doing that series, and I cannot wait. I would have already reread these if it wasn't for our Kate Daniels read along, but instead of going for this, I did Kate Daniels again, and I'm looking forward to finally getting back into the Hidden Legacy world. It is much more focused on the romance, and there's quite a bit of steam and banter, and like I said, the magic and stuff is very interesting. Next, I have Immortal in Death, which is number 3 in the In Death series by J.D. Robb. This is a futuristic detective billionaire romance. The series is over 50 books long. It is beloved and is an interesting combination of mystery and romance, which is something that works well for me. I read the first couple books like over 3 years ago, and would really like to continue. Next, I have the Inheritance trilogy, which is by N.K. Jemisin. This is a read-along that is being hosted by Chloe at Thistle and Verse and Shay from Shay with the Hobbies. We are in January reading The 100,000 Kingdoms. I am currently like 30% through the book. It's actually much easier reading so far than the 5th season was. So if you want to start with N.K. Jemisin, or if the 5th season was a little difficult for you and you aren't really looking forward to that experience again, 100,000 Kingdoms is much lighter. There are some romance threads. I don't know about happily ever after. I'm on pins and needles about that. But I want to read all 3 of the main books at least for the read along. I want to be a viewer in the live shows, and I'm looking forward to finishing the book because I am really enjoying it so far. And each one of these books is a companion novel, so they are standalones, although I think you need to read them in order. You could just stop with the first one. First one is about a girl who her family has basically been disowned, and now she's been brought back to compete to be the heir for like the ruler of everything, and the gods who have been enslaved. And I don't know where all it's going, but I know it's going to be amazing. Next I have Iron Widow, which is a young adult fantasy. It's polyamorous, so I know there's a romance, and it's about the female emperor of China who was like a warrior queen, but it's been twisted into like a sci-fi book, and I have heard nothing but literally amazing things about this. I've actually watched a couple of videos by the author here on YouTube, and I'm just waiting on my library to give this book to me. That's what I'm waiting for, but I can't wait. I think that it's going to be an absolute favorite of the year. I have very high expectations, so I really am hoping to get to this soon. Then I have The Love Hypothesis, which is by Hazelwood. I actually read this already in January, go me, and this is a academia contemporary romance that is Raylo fanfic. Then I want to read Wolfgang Wild, and this is a shifter romance with a witch, and the werewolf is actually, he can't shift or he's cursed or something, and she helps him even though the witches are not supposed to help the shifters. And a lot of my friends absolutely love this book. It's been on my TBR for a minute. I actually own the ebook because I got it on sale one day. So I really want to get to this one. I'm hoping to love it, but overhyped books do make me nervous. Another hyped book is Act Your Age, Eve Brown. So I read Get Life, Chloe Brown in 2020. I read Take a Hint, Danny Brown in 2021, and really need to get to Eve Brown in 2022. These are really grumpy sunshine books, every single one of them, and they're humorous and sweet and poignant, and I really love Talia Hibbert's writing. And a lot of people, this is their favorite book of the series, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. Both main characters are autistic, and I believe Eve doesn't realize that she's autistic and kind of goes on a journey of figuring that out. Then I have another nonfiction, which this is actually coming out February 1st. It's Black Love Matters. This Mara from Books Like Well read an arc of and highly recommended. And I know that Christina C. Jones, who's one of my all-time favorite authors, did a chapter or an essay or whatever in this book. And so I would really like to read it. I think that reading Black Love is important. It is something that Ashley from Bookish Realm has talked a lot about. In fact, she even has a side channel called Black Love Matters. Is it called Black Love Matters? I don't know. But it's just something that I've learned quite a bit about in the last couple of years, and I'm very interested in reading this. And I have Not My Type. I want to say this is by Evie Mitchell, and this is a disabled heroine and the Art of Shabari, and that's mostly what I know about it. I do know that a lot of my friends really love this author, and so I would like to prioritize finally trying this book. And lastly, I have Finley Donovan is Killing It. This is a lighthearted mystery where it's an author and someone overhears her talking about the plot of her book and thinks that she's a hit woman and hires her. And I believe it's quite funny while also being a mystery, and that is the vibe that I want. Ingrid from Ingrid Inspired, I think is her channel name, that I did the Broken Earth trilogy with on Beautifully Bookish Bethany's channel. She has raved about this book and has begged us to read it. And she really sold me on it, and so I have it on my list. Another mystery. Mystery is something that I read so much growing up and watched the shows and stuff. Like, it was a big kind of subgenre for me, and I really have fallen out of it and would like to find ones that work well for me. So that's it. Those are the books that I really, really, really want to have read by December 31st, 2022. We'll see. I get to color them in once I've read them, so maybe that will motivate me. But yeah, let me know if you've read any of these or want to read any of these. Wish me luck. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.